boxing's my way out. Even though I want to achieve so much, I come from nothing. I do believe boxing's a poor man's sport. It's a hard game. It's like modern day gladiators. I see so many boxers that box for 15, 20 years. They get to 35 years old and they've got nothing. And that scares me, man. Because it's hard and it's getting harder. How the system is putting it out there for us, it's like fighting for scraps. I'll never want to be back how I was, man. Like, I just struggling every single day.
Jordan, welcome to the Inspired By Show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, now, Jordan, we talked a little bit behind the scenes and we've kind of been getting to know each other, but from the research I've done about you so far, you're known as the Wanderer.
Yep.
Where does that name come from?
Since young, I've just wandered around by myself, and I don't really do things traditionally, as in like a lot of boxers, they stay in one place and box. I've always just gone off. Like I went to Ireland for a year, trained there, and I went to somewhere else. I've always just been on the go, and it kind of taught me a lot of life lessons and learned about more culture by traveling the world and things like that. So yeah, people say, man, you wander around, man. And as young, I left home, I think I was about 15 or 16 with a random family. So it just kind of started from there. I just wandered off, and all my pals were like, you're mad, like you're only young. And I just wandered off with a family and took that choice, and then just never stopped really wandering around, mate.
Well, it's working. So
yeah, try
clearly,
it.
You know, people often say, like, you know, if you're wandering, you must be lost. But actually, it's sometimes just not necessarily searching for something, but you just kind of make, one step in front of the other.
100%. And I've learned as well, like by that, I've met some great people in my life, and I built my network from wandering around and meeting people, and you learn so much traveling to different countries and, meeting people from different backgrounds, instead of just being stuck on the estate.
Yeah, good point, isn't it? Now, you mentioned there about you were 15, 16 and you decided to sort of leave home, move in with another family. So tell me about what was going on for you then that kind of helped you get to that point.
Well, yeah, a lot of us from where we're from from Luton Town, from Farley Hill. So a lot of us from the estates, especially in Luton, a lot of us 9 times out of 10 come from broken homes. So you're growing up and you see a lot of trauma, abusive stuff, whether that's in your home life or on the streets, and you're bringing stuff back to the family. You see a lot of emotions, a lot of mental torture. So I was always a bit like, I was quite lost and a shy kid. Had no love. I wasn't really giving too much love to me because so much stuff was happening at home and things had to be dealt with. So I just kind of like had an opportunity where I was boxing one time, and the family kind of saw I was a bit rugged. What's this 16-year-old kid doing, traveling to West Ham, trying to better his life? He's from Luton. They said, like, is everything all right? And they said, look, you can come live with us. It's a bit of a, like, it was strange. It was like I manifested it, because I always I always just saw myself getting somewhere. I don't know why. I don't know how it just happened, but like, I've always imagined something, and I just said, I'll come and view it. And I went there one time, and big houses. It was in Essex. It was a sunny day. Felt like I was on holiday, and I'm from we're from a rough estate. Do you know what I mean? Like, in Rayleigh, you could leave your car doors open. I was like, this is a complete different where I'm from. Do you know what I mean? So I said, yeah, I want to focus on my boxing. I want to, near enough all my friends have been victims of knife crime, gun crime, stab, shot. I've been chased to the back. Like, when I moved there, actually, to be fair, prime example, when I moved there, after 6 months of being there, keeping my head down, I missed home and I missed my friends. So I thought, I'll go back. As I went back, I just bumped into a few lads, and they were chasing me around the back of town, and I was with my stepsister. So I bumped into one of them, and they chased me back of town with a blade. So I was thinking to myself, I just need to keep my nut down, just keep grounded, keep my head down. I want to box. This is my opportunity. I come from nothing. Boxing's my way out. Do you know what I mean? Like, even though I want to achieve so much, I come from nothing. Yeah, as in, like, I've got support system. If I ever need anything, like my mum or my dad, like, would help me where they can. Yeah, but I can't go there and say I need a few quid. We're normal. We're working class. Yeah, we ain't got the money to get to that next step. So it's all on me. I ain't got that. If anything ever happened, there's no inherence. It's just me. It's just me. That's it. I've got to make it. I've got to make the way out. I've got to do the graft, and I want to change the next generation's life. I've seen, when I was in Essex, and I've seen all these people live in these big houses, and I started talking to them. They all come from the same upbringing, and all they done was they went to the lonely road, and they worked hard, and they used their network, and it didn't really work for a salary. They made deals, and I was learning young, and I just applied it to my life.
Wow. Would you say that that's what got you into boxing then, was from the more rough upbringing? Or do you think that you probably would have still got into boxing if you'd been born in somewhere like Essex?
Now I think now you got to be 9 times out of 10 us boxers be like it's a real and truly it's a poor man's sport. You never want to see a multi-millionaire gonna go box. They don't need to. Why would you need and if they do, then fair play because it's actually probably harder for them because they're the ones who got to wake up every morning and think to themselves, well, I don't really need to do this because I'm okay. Where we're driven, like we come from it. You need to have that little bit of spikeness, that little bit of that. Sometimes you get tough in that, in that ring. You need to have that little to dig in, push you forward. So I can't use that like my backstory or just it's in you. Do you know what I mean? That fire in you is already in me. So and it's in a lot of other fires. So yeah, I probably wouldn't box. I do believe boxing is a poor man's sport. It's a hard game. It's like modern day gladiators. The people who watch you are at the top. They're around the ring, cheering on, booing, boo, boo. Do you know what I mean? So it's a hard game. It's not easy. It's not just boxing. You got to do your media. You got to sell yourself. Your face has got to fit. On the way of coming up, you go through so many trials and tribulations through injuries and whatnot. So it's never ending, man. But I just use all these setbacks and things to lead me to different things, I should be probably a bit further or a different path in my career, really. But I've had a few setbacks. But I would never change anything because it's made me who I am today. And I've built a great network. I've got great people around me. I found out who's real, who's not, who's really got my best intentions. So, yeah.
Do you know what I find really interesting, Jordan, what you shared there is you mentioned that most boxers and most people who have achieved success take the lonely road. But actually, when they get to success, they've built a network of everyone else that's had the lonely road, right? Yeah. So it's actually not lonely at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
when you get that point.
No, exactly. When you're there, and you've got a revenue, and then you're still growing, and you're meeting these people, you start bouncing ideas off each other, and then boom, boom, boom. So yeah, like I'm not, and do you know what? I'm not like a normal boxer. I wouldn't just go box, go bed, sleep, do a run, sleep, rest. I think it's 24 hours in a day, and I'm just on the graft, mate. 24/7, like trying to find revenues and like just trying to put people together and help people and inspire people and trying to make them, the most of them. Like I'm still young, I'm 28 years old. Do you know what I mean? I'm coming to my prime. So I think just graft now because I see so many boxers that box for 15, 20 years. They get to 35 years old and they've got nothing. And that scares me, man. Like, so I think to myself now, I think I do all that I can now. And then I've done it. I don't want to like finish boxing and then I've got to go, oh God, or do another 10 or 15 years and something else. Like, do it now.
Yeah.
So if it can be done now, it'll be done now. I'm not a tomorrow person. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. It's now. It's done. It's done.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I'm on it.
I think that's one thing I was really inspired by you when I was doing some research, because a lot of people go into like coaching or academies when they retire. Like football is a great example, right? They go into become a football coach or a manager after they can't play football anymore. But like you said, you're 28, you've already got an academy running, and I'll talk to you about that. But I think there's got to be something entrepreneurial in the decision there to do it so young. Would you say that's also the reason that you've actually gone professional with boxing? Because a lot of people go into boxing as a kid because they need to get the aggression out, the energy out, whatever, the troubles, the trauma. Not everyone makes it pro.
Now, of course, and like, for me, it was just like, I was just driven by, because I had nothing, and I come from the mud, yeah? Like, I didn't have a pot to piss in. So, I wanted to be financially free, as in, like, when I'm seeing these people around Essex, and I'm thinking, I want that. And I wasn't the smartest, and things like that. Like, all I've got is a great work ethic. I'm a good person. I help people. Got a great reputation, as in like I've never done anyone wrong. I always want everyone to win. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're part of my team, we're all winning together. So, and that goes a long way, especially nowadays. People say they want to do, they want to see you do well, but never better than them, and that's always the case. So, yeah, for me, it was just to be financially free. That's what drives me day in, day out, and then on the come up, I've just
Now, I just wanted to quickly interrupt this episode to share a quick message with you. Now, I've been hosting these interviews with Inspired by Show for a while now, and I've been loving all of the great feedback from our listeners. And it really means a lot when you all share from listening to these episodes, watching these episodes, share your incredible feedback. And I love that you love it as much as we do. Now, my mission for the Inspired by Show is to inspire others to challenge the norm, share their story, knowing that it's okay to be vulnerable and, shock horror, take the mask off and be raw and real. So I have a favour to ask. Can you help me on this mission by sharing this episode with someone who you think needs to hear this message? Maybe there's a friend, a loved one, a colleague, or someone that you know that would really benefit from hearing this inspiring story. If you could do that to help us, help even more people to challenge the norm and push themselves out of their own comfort zone, then I'd really appreciate it. So if you haven't already, share this episode with a friend, a loved one, a colleague, or someone that you know would benefit. Now, back to the episode.
You know, saw opportunities, and I thought to myself, what did I need when I was younger? You know, from the estate, let's put something into the estate for the community. The academy, the Jordan Reynolds Boxing Academy, started off from 3 boot camps every Saturday. 30, 40, you know, men, women and children were attending during the COVID time who felt a bit lost. So I thought, you know, let's help them. And I thought to myself, let's, you know, put the boxing club back into Farley Hill, because there used to be a boxing club in Farley Hill, but they stopped it. So I thought, let's do that. And then after that, we was getting like 40, 50 kids attend. And me and my business partner, Jake, was like, all right, we both come from nothing. Let's just take over. And then now we're working with 300-400 kids a week, like 2 or 3 schools a day, Monday to Friday. Great team. Our main coaches is Lee and Nash and Hannah as well. But they're mate, just great. Just working with great people. And they're in Dubai as well. So we're chipping away. And just always striving to be the best versions of ourselves.
Yeah. Obviously, you've been on your own sort of boxing journey. From my last research, 7 wins, 2 knockouts.
That's it, yeah.
What goes through your head when you get into the ring? Because I always think, I mean, I'm not really an aggressive person, although my friends might tell you otherwise. But like, I always think, how do you get yourself ready to be able to like go to knock someone out? Like, what goes through your mind?
Mate, listen, when you... About a million things go through your mind when you walk into that ring. Why am I doing this? Do I want to do this? What am I doing? Do you know what I mean? So like, it's all about controlling your mindset. It's taking that. I think just doing things you don't want to do in life will actually get you to the next step. So I'm so used to resilience and setbacks and things like that. Like, it's second nature. It's just for me, it's just a fight. It's another day. I had 112 amateur fights. Do you know what I mean? I was on the England team, England captain, on the Team GB. So, you know, I served my apprentice well, man. I've got my pedigree. So it's just another day at the office for me. But people don't see what it takes to get there. Like, I've had some mad setbacks, man. Like injuries, like broken nose. I've had my front teeth knocked out a week before a fight. I've ruptured my distal bicep tendon, ruptured off completely. Not torn, proper injuries. I've ruptured my left bicep tendon off completely. When I turned pro, I had injury flagged up for brain problems. I've had 2 slip discs in my back, sciatica for a year, arthritis in my right elbow, can't straighten my right arm. I don't complain, I'll crack on, do you know what I mean? But this is all through, people don't see all this in the background, do you know what I mean? I'll fight for it day in, day out, and like, this is all going through, do you know what I mean? Part of the process. People just see your hand raised. It's a lot of... You gotta be a strong character, man. You gotta have a lot of resilience. Like, it's a hard old game, boxing. It's hard, man. It's hard. And some people are lucky. Some people's face fit and they get guided in the right direction. See me, yeah. Even in my life and in my career, I've always had to fight for what's mine. I've always had to go the hard route. And like now, I feel young. I'm 28 years old. I'm coming to my peak. But then you've got some promoters who are going, yeah, but he's old. You know, he's an old dog. I think to myself, like, what are you on about? Like, can you imagine, yeah, if everyone had to make it when they were 25, how boring life would be? You got to make it, do you know what I mean? It's all about the journey and the story. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I always get there in the end. It might take me a little bit longer, but it's all about the story and the journey. People, like, are easy to write anyone off. Do you know what I mean? So I just thought to myself, you know what? I probably should be signed and, you know, a bit more up there, but things happen in life. But I'll get there anyway. I'll just do the work. So it's all good.
That's why work ethic is so important, isn't it?
Yeah, work ethic, and you need resilience. You got to be like, you got to be comfortable with rejection, man.
Yeah.
And not if someone says no, like it's not a no. Like you got to find your roots.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like just take no for an answer, man.
Yeah.
Get there. Just get there. If you get
Just
there,
get on with it.
get on with it, man. Suck it up and crack on. Push forward, like, and the next generation coming up, man, they're getting softer. Do you know what I mean? So like, and that's why we're so successful as an academy, is because when we go to these schools, if you're 30th, you're not a winner. Sorry, you're not a winner. Yeah, and the way we apply in our academy and in our schools, if the schools don't agree with how we work, then we say they want to work with you, because we want to set these kids up for real life. Yeah, if you're coming 30th and you're the winner, when you come to the real world, you got no chance, mate. It's a savage world out there. It's dog eat, do you know what I mean? So we instill, be better each session. If you come 30th, next time I want you to come 20th next week, and then come 10th, and do you know what I mean? So get better each week. So we keep you competitive, and yeah, man, we push them, man. Make them driven and hungry for it. It has to.
But it's good because you didn't have anyone getting you hungry for it, but you were hungry from your own experience, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things which I always admire with boxing is that it is an individual sport. I think people, you've got footballers, rugby players, and they get paid a lot of money and they train a lot. And no credit. I'm not taking credit away from them, but they're in a team. So when they're having a bad game, they got the morale around them. They got the backup. They got the backup. Yeah. How is it being? Because we talked about being lonely in life. How is it being lonely in that ring?
Well, it's not just the ring. It's during the camp, the sacrifice. Everyone's going out. You got to stay in. And if you do go out and you do party, because it's an individual sport, you're going to get exposed in the ring and you're going to get embarrassed or you get knocked out because you ain't done the 1%, you ain't sacrificed. So yeah, you got to be happy alone and happy with your own thoughts. And like I said, do plenty of sacrifices and always take that lonely road. You have to, man. But boxing's a hard game. I think it's the hardest sport. You got to make weight, you got to diet, early nights, don't be going out for birthdays and your mates all going out. You got to sacrifice everything if you want to get to the top. Do you know what I mean? I always started boxing late. I had my first fight at 16. So like, I was like, right, while everyone's out, I'm staying in. And I'm dedicating my life to this till I get that next step. And I overtook so many people, and now I'm here. I'm ready to push forward in my career. Do you know what I mean? I've had 7 fights. I rolled the dice on not my last fight, the fight before. I fought for a title eliminator. I was in Dubai. I got a phone call. Do you want to fight in 6 weeks? Title eliminator, 10 rounds. I wasn't really fit. I'd said, yeah, let's do it. I believe in myself. I pushed forward. I had to go to a dark place in the fight. Ability wise, I was better, but he was just fit. And it was 10 rounds, mate. I started fading. I had to go somewhere deep to find the extra push, and we got the win. And now the next fight is going to be for the English title, number 1 in England, and then I'm mandatory for the British title. So yes, it's there to be done, man.
Wow.
I'm on it.
But do you know what I love about that story though, Jordan, is that you didn't start really young. A lot of people often feel that if they didn't get the great start at the beginning, they're never going to get to where they want to be. People say to me, but you didn't want to be an entrepreneur as a kid. So, are you really an entrepreneur? I wasn't the sort of person that was like selling sweets when I was at school. Like I genuinely never wanted to be in a business, but I've not let that stop me where I've got to. And I think it's similar to your journey. You started later, but look where you are now. Yeah,
I think it's just having your own drive and your own vision. Because if you listen to everyone else, and not being funny, 9 times out of 10, people's reactions are negative. You tell someone what you're going to do, and they go, "But what if this don't work, and you lose money and this and that?" They don't go the benefits, the positives. Well, if you do that, you can do this and do that. It's always the negatives. Do you know what I mean? So I just shut out the noise. And I'm in my own delusional world. Probably the most deluded geezer you'd ever meet. But you know what? It's all right because it works for me. And whatever vision I have, it tracks and it manifests. I don't know how I'm here. I don't know how I've done what I've done from where I've come from. And like, I've always done the impossible. Like, just little things, man. Even I bought a BMW when I was young, man. Like, that's like, I know it's nothing to people, but like, mate, I come from nothing. Like, and I manifested that. So, all right, then I had a Corsa. I manifested being like, do you know what I mean? I was on my estate. I was like, yeah. Then, like, just little things like that. I thought, but that's just come from a thought. Do you know what I mean? And like a vision. So yeah, you can't like. People just have to believe in themselves, man. It's possible.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's all in your own mind, man. And you can't you got to shout the noise, and you can't listen to people. Like, oh, you're too old or you're too young. Mate, listen, there's always options, man.
Yeah.
There's always options.
I always say to people who go through this, because my business is a book publishing business, I've got the podcast. I help a lot of people build their brand. The bigger the brand, the bigger the noise, right?
Course,
You're seeing it in your own business and your own career. And often it's about realizing that people's opinions are because of their fear of themselves.
What insecurities.
Exactly. You know, like I remember when I first started my business and all of my loved ones were like, you know, how are you going to get paid? You know, when are you going to get a real job? I remember my business making $250,000 and people going to me, when are you going to get a real job? I'm like, are you joking? Like, I'm in it. Like I'm living my dream to then, you know? And I think that's where a lot of people, we do have to go against the herd. We do have to do something a bit different. And obviously it shows up in different industries. Now, I wanted to ask you, you're, I think, the first professional boxer I've interviewed. I'm going to have to check that now that I've done these a year. But I've also interviewed other amateur boxers, ex-MMA fighters, athletes. And I've often been curious about someone from a professional boxing perspective on the non-professional boxing. So for example, like we're all aware of YouTube boxing, Misfits, KSI, Jake Paul. What's your views on YouTubers and sort of non-pros getting in the ring?
Non-pros, because you got the unlicensed and things like that. So it's a lot of street lads that want to have a go. I think fair play, whatever. Most of them lads stay in their lane. They go under the radar, whatnot. You get a few egos walk around. They're unlicensed, but they go, you know, I'm a semi-professional boxer. There's no such thing. You're either professional or you're amateur or you're unlicensed. You know what I mean? But the other stuff, I think it's for nerds, man. It's for nerds. If I'm honest with you, like you get a few lads who are about it, who have seen a little gap in the market, you know, who are actually, you know, they're proper about it, and they're trying to make a few quid out of it. But most of them, man, like they're all like, I don't know, mate. It's like it's a strange world. Like, not for me. Is it for me? It's not really for me. It's not real fights. It's all hype. Some of it's cringy. I'm not a big lover of it. If I'm honest with you, with a lot of things, with a lot of things in this day and age. But I do understand. Like, listen, people, it's hard times, right, for people. And today's like, it's not like back in the day where even with like the things you got with the OnlyFans and men being men and things like that. Now, like back in the day, it was a lot easier for a man to provide. Do you know what I mean? Like they could provide for the woman and things like that. But now, like men ain't really. It's hard to find high value men now. To be honest with you, because they're all getting soft, right, and pathetic. But like, it's harder for a man to keep because of how the systems go in and they're raising the prices, and it's hard. So now the system is just increasing stuff. So what do they want to do now? They want to make the woman work. Do you know what I mean? So now the man's paying tax and the woman's paying tax. They got these women's doing OnlyFans going, yeah, but I make more money than the man. I'm doing this, but like, it's a mad world. It's a mad world. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I can't really. It works in both ways. I get why the women are doing it. So I ain't a really big believer in OnlyFans. If I'm honest with you, like I think it takes value away from the woman. If I'm honest with you, no high value man is ever going to want to see a woman, your own wife, seen naked or doing things with, you know, in front of thousands of people, if I'm honest, all right? But I get it, they're on the hustle because they can't get a high value man who can give them a life that they want. So they got to do this. But it's hard because then they go, oh yeah, but I'm making loads of money. But then like, it's kind of set them up to be a bit, not miserable, but their mental state going to be right when they're older, because when they get to 40, 50 years old and they're going, oh yeah, like, you know, I've got loads of money. Do you think when you're 40, 50 years old, do you think a Louis Vuitton bag is going to make you happy? Well, your other friends have brought kids and their grandkids are about and they've got a family. That's more important. Do you know what I mean? But I get it because it's hard for men nowadays because like, unless you're like ducking and diving and you're making deals, you can give your wife and your woman the life, you know, you can provide and take them on holiday and give them the life that they want. But if you're working 9 to 5, you're part of the system, then it's going to be hard. The women ain't going to really put up with it. A lot of them, they want to craft. They want money. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard.
Tough one,
It's a tough one. Do you know what I mean? Because I sometimes I slate the OnlyFans people, but I think to myself, I do get it because but that's just it's hard. But then again, I'll go the men who are subscribing to watch them use the losers. To be honest with you, like, what he's doing, like what he's doing.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I think it's about what people value, right?
Yeah.
Like I would personally, and I've been asked outright on a podcast once, would I ever do OnlyFans for 2 million? And I was like, no. And that person was like, yeah, you would. And I was like, do you know what? I wouldn't, because I built my brand in a certain way. Could you imagine now? Sure, let me publish your book, but go on my OnlyFans. Like, it's just not going to work. And I think a lot of people do love it. Like, everyone's different to what they enjoy.
I respect.
Right?
Listen, I respect all. Yeah, listen, I'm not going. Oh yeah, this because you did like. It is what it is, yeah. But I just, for me, that's my personal opinion on it. Do you know what I mean? And everyone's allowed to have an opinion on anything. Well, you're not allowed to these days. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, that's my personal opinion on it. And I think, like, if you want to do that, then be ready for the backlash and what's going to come of it.
Exactly.
Because, like, you see it now, like, even now, today's society, so many people are lost because of social media and. You know, even with like the OnlyFans stuff, like young girls are looking up to that. Like, it's not setting a great example, is it? Like, it's so, you know, they can go on about money this, money that. Like, maybe do something else to find money. I don't know.
Yeah. But that's exactly why I'm always a bit unsure about the whole YouTube boxing thing and like the Misfits and the Jake Pauls, because what I've seen kids who have followed the YouTubers because they're always on their laptops or watching. And then they're now doing YouTube boxing. And then they're thinking, oh, maybe I should box.
Yeah.
The risk is, right? I mean, I've never been in a ring. You know what it's like. But how can someone go from being a face of a YouTube channel to then being in a ring? Like, I sometimes
it's just,
think,
a lot of them is just nerds, man. To be honest with you. If I'm honest with you, like I said before, there is some lads that have seen it, they're going, all right, they're about it. You know what I mean? They come from the street, they're going, all right. They've got a bit of influence. They're jumping on it to make a few quid or whatever. I get it, but it's just two complete different stuff. Like it's different. Like being a proper professional boxer, man. You've come up as an amateur. You've done it the hard way. Do you know what I mean? With the YouTube stuff, you've sat behind a computer screen playing games and whatever you're doing. And you're getting funded by I don't know how they make money, publishing, talking behind these games, and then you want to use. It's mad. It baffles me, but. It's where we live in today, isn't it? I suppose you've got to evolve with the time. Not for me. It's not really for me.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, like,
do you know what I find?
I've done it. It's different. Like, I've done it. Like I had a influencer come to me to train her at the O2, AJ Bunker. She fought El Brook, and I was like, do you know what? I was injured. I thought, do you know what? I just want to see what it's all about. And I was just sat there. I thought, this is freaking me out. Like it's just the whole. It's just a different eyes. It's so different. But then again, people want to make money. They're jumping on that. Do you know what I mean? It's
you know, I'd love to interview one of them just to see what goes through their minds. But I'm curious though, from your perspective, because I remember I was watching one of the Misfits fights, and I think it was Eddie Hearn was saying about how it's brought so much money into boxing, so much more visibility into boxing, because they have got big audiences.
Massive.
They've sold out and made mega bucks on the box office. Whereas, you know, other professional fights haven't. Have you noticed it with your academy where more kids are interested in boxing?
Yes, yeah. Like a lot of the kids, to be honest with you, that we work with, ain't really. They're more street kids.
Really?
So they're not really
watched all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
To be honest with you, they're actually real life, been through it, about it, understand that life's hard, and they're there, and we work with them. Do you know what I mean? They're not really behind. A PlayStation, or they're actually pushed. They're just pushed out on the streets. Do you know what I mean? And that's where we come into play and help them and try to stop the knife crime from raising and things like that. So, but it's so hard, man. And like, it's so hard. I think it's so hard for the kids growing up now. Like, even with the phones and things like that, it's just like that's the worst thing. I always think be a content creator. Yeah, don't be a consumer. Otherwise, you're just going to lead you from astray. So, I mean, this is where mental health comes into play, because you're comparing yourself to these fake lives, and it's just you're stuck there. It's not kind of a life. Social media is the most antisocial thing you could ever be in. Do you know what I mean? Just use it for your own devices. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, you see it like, I don't know. I'm like an old soul, do you know what I mean? But it's hard. Like I'm in the middle with a lot of things. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I'm quite well rounded, and I see the ins and outs of everything. So,
Yeah. How do you find it with building your brand? Because obviously, as you said earlier, being a boxer, you need to have a face, you need to be visible about it, and sell your brand as well to be able to, do well in the sport.
Well, I've always just stayed true to myself and been myself. I think that's what I have. A lot of people, even when I was on the GB team, I had the people who work for GB ask me, "How did you build your following?" Because I was young. Like I've learned it all myself. Like even getting sponsors. Like it's all about your own personal branding and, like I said before, facing rejection. Like I started from me as a kid. Yeah, so I started boxing at 15, 16. At 17 years old, before social media, I was printing posters of myself and handing them out around town and putting them in pubs so people could recognise me. And I was asking them for sponsors, £100 a month. Like, you got to know your worth. So I wasn't going up to them and saying I want £1,000, £2,000 a month. I said, have £100 a month, pay for my train fares, blah blah blah. Get 10 of them was £1,000 a month. I was only like 17. I was like, yeah. Do you know what I mean? So like, yeah, like you just got to stay true and authentic to yourself, and you got to make a decision. Like if you are gonna want to play the game and you want to be the villain, then you got to maintain that. But you see it, people play the good guy when really the bad guy, and then it lasts so long, and people go, "This ain't the fella," and they end up hating them. Do you know what I mean? And vice versa, the other role. So I just think staying true to yourself. I've always stayed true to who I am, where I'm from. I want people to rise. I want anyone to do well. Don't really hate anyone. To be honest with you, like, I just want people to win in life because it's hard and it's getting harder. How the system is putting it out there for us, it's like you're fighting for scraps. So and like it's hard. Like even like the people, like the working class, right? Like, I'm working class, in and out, right? But I do. Right? I got my hands on a few different pies. But like for now, how the normal people work, like how people are getting by, the normal 9 to 5 people, it must be so hard. Like, are you actually living life? Because like one holiday a year is not enough for you, man. I think it's getting harder now. Now you're a woman, your wife's at work. So who's raising the kids? The system. What are they teaching in the schools? God knows what.
Yeah.
God knows what. We all know what. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's a big spiral, and then they're just raising our kids, and the kids are brainwashed, and then it's never ending. Do you know what I mean?
And I think that's the thing is you can learn so much from outside of the typical education, right? Like living life, whether it is like on the streets or whether it is in a business. I'm a big advocate for you learn so much when you start a business or have a big career. Oh my gosh,
what works, what don't work.
Oh yeah, and you learn about yourself, right? Like you're like, oh wow, I didn't realize I had that trauma, or I didn't realize I had that trait. But it sounds like to me you've already been a little bit entrepreneurial, even 17. The thought of going right. I'm not going to try and get the grand sponsor, but I'm going to get, and just like printing things out.
I know my worth, man.
Yeah, but not even, Jordan, it's not worth it. It's the ability to be like, how can I make this work?
Yeah.
And I think there's so much similarity between you as a boxer and you as a business owner with what you're doing now. So what similarities did you find, I guess, between boxing and entrepreneurship? Because, you do get punched in the face a few times as a business owner as well in a different way.
Yeah, you do, yeah. Plenty of setbacks, man. I don't know, they're very similar. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, you got to do a lot of sacrifice. It's late nights, early mornings. You got to do what nobody really wants to do. You got to go that extra mile. You got to be messaging more people. Do you know what I mean? It's so many. It's the same kind of trait, but in different ways. Because I'm always actually going to make up a little business behind boxing because I actually wanted to help. Like I've always managed to get sponsors only because when people sponsor me, I make it's more like a family thing, as in like you're part of the journey now, and like a lot of people get sponsored in this take. I'm not really about that. I want like it's not just one way traffic. It's got to work both ways. Do you know what I mean? Like if I couldn't do something for you, I wouldn't really take your money. I ain't really about that. I'd rather just get by in life. I ain't really about that. So I was going to do like a little business, business behind boxing and teach these up and coming boxers and athletes how to get sponsorship, about personal branding, about resilience, about, going out and print, how I done it, going out, just went out there and started printing leaflets out and posters and stuff like that. So yeah, like listen, business, boxing, it's the same thing but different. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? So yeah, man.
What's been your biggest sort of setback or challenge in the business side of boxing?
Injuries,
Mm.
injuries, man. Like they push me back. When you add up the months I've had off to recover and rehab, do you know what I mean? Like 6 months. Like it's do you know what I mean? Like I was like a horse at one stage. They were just injecting me to keep fighting every other week. It's mad. Like, but yeah, probably the injuries, because then like now I'm 28. I could have been like probably 25, 26, fighting for these titles and being signed. But it's all right. It's fine, because during them moments where I was injured, I wasn't sitting there crying. I had a day where I was like, oh my God, like, not again. They've told me my career's finished again. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I've learned so much about myself. And like I said, I've found out who's really with me. I built my network, and it's made me more hungry and driven. Like, I just can't, I'll never want to be back how I was, man. Like, I just struggling every single day. Do you know what I mean? Like, mate, like mate, I've always hustled, man. Like I said, even you said, I was the kid at school was selling cigarettes and sweets, 3 cigarettes for £1, and
Mm.
go farm foods and buy loads of Lucasades, and for 10 quid and sell for £2 a bottle. And do you know what I mean? Like, I was just on a hustle from early. But then I just thought, I found an opportunity. Boxing come along. I saw the lights and the cameras, and you look up to these big boxers who are making millions. I was like, I need to get there. Do you know what I mean? And then on the way up, things don't always go into plan. Same as business. You plan things. It's never, is it? It's always,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? So yeah, I've learned on the way, man. Literally, I'm just learning day to day, like what works, what don't work. Last year or the year before, probably had a whole year of just finding what works and what don't work. Literally, like, just sit back, bang, bang, bang. Like, I think to myself, cool, like, this is crazy. Do you know what I mean? But it's all good.
Yeah. It's part of the journey, though, isn't it?
Part of the
You've got to
journey,
learn it.
part of the story,
Yeah.
part of the book. You're going to publish one day for me.
Awesome. Let's make it happen, Jordan. I love that. And when it comes to what you're up to now, obviously you've got the English title fight. What's next for Jordan?
Just keep building, man. Like, like I said, like, I do believe making deals and network is the way forward, especially for me. Next thing for me is I've got very close friends who have been there since I first started boxing. They're friends with the Tates. We all know each other. So this month, or the upcoming months, is getting out there the AI generator, Pocket Tate. That's just keep just trying to get to the next step. Do you know what I mean? The next step in life. Support my family, helping the people who believe me and back me, and see how far I can go in boxing. See how far I can go. Like, done a lot of graft over the years. Like, anyone would probably quit by now, man, from what I've been through. Honestly, from life and injuries. Like I said, mate, like broken nose. All my fights, yeah, I've been one. I've had one. So Sky Sports debut was like 2 weeks notice or weeks notice. So I ran back to the gym. I went to have a little spa, and I got my front teeth knocked out completely. Mad, yeah. To put them back in, I was mad. I still fought a week later. I didn't tell them. I had someone you can see on my Instagram. I had a metal bar. I was like, look, I just got my teeth knocked out. So I didn't spar. I didn't train for that. And then I fought in the match room debut. I ruptured my tendon completely off. My bicep was down my forearm. All right. I just done 6 months rehab. weren't really ready. Didn't spar again. And took the fight. So all my fights have been a few weeks' notice. So now like I said, I'm in my peak condition. I've got plenty of time for this next fight. Like, I couldn't just like give it in. Like, a lot of people just quit. Like, I want to just like, I don't ever want to be one of them lads at the pub going, oh, I could have done this and could have been that. And back in the day, I think now I'll just do it. Do you know what I mean? I deserve what's coming, man. So I'm gonna grab these titles: English title, British title, and keep working, man. Because I think it's disrespectful to not to put the work in and actually reap the rewards for the people who invest in me. So I ain't just doing it for me; I'm doing it for them and my family and people who believe in me, man.
Wow. You talked about deserving there, and we talked a bit about self-worth earlier. Did you always knew you deserved more? Did you always see your self-worth, or was there ever a time where you questioned that?
Now, you only deserve more if you put in the work in. Simple as that. I know I work hard, man. Like, you get people who just sit around eating and playing places. I deserve a better life. Oh, I wish I could do this. I want to do this. Life's not fair. But you ain't doing nothing. Like, you ain't. Are you? When is the last time you've actually really tried your best at something? When have you really tried your best? Do you know what I mean? And like, I'm so honest with myself, man. And I'm probably my biggest critic. Do you know what I mean? But like, man, I'm grafting, man. I swear to God, like, it won't stop from the morning to until I close my eyes. It's work, and so as it can have effect on your relationships. Do you know what I mean? With friends and even with like your partners, because like you need to have a switch off point. But I ain't got no I ain't got no switch off point. I love working. Do you know what I mean? But you got to make time with people and things like that. I get it, but
how have your sort of friends and family taken to that sort of like not having a switch off point or being so obsessed with work?
Yeah, they think I'm a lunatic. I'm mental, mate. Like, I don't stop. But I love it, like, but like we just, I don't know, we just think of things, man. But I've got great, do you know what? I've got great people behind me, and like my friends are class. Like my pals message me like I'll be like, I'm quite an extremist, so if I have a drink, I'm out and I'll go missing. Yeah, my pals are like, bruv, you're fighting soon. Stay in. Do you know what I mean? They're proper. They're actually proper. Like, they guide me. Any bother, mate, they're there. I can't actually complain. I've got great bunch of friends. And when you do business with friends, what do we do during COVID? Oh, we done with me, Kai, and Antonio, two close friends. We just set up a little raffle company, little raffle during COVID. Make quick 10 quid, 10 grand, mate. Sound. Just by doing that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was mad. And like, so like, it's not really, it's very rare you can actually do business with friends, because normally you clash, and it's, you know what I mean? So like, I've got very good support system, and I keep my close friends close. I don't really need anyone else, really. I don't really need no new friends. I don't need them. Do you know what I mean? I have like people I meet now, yeah, they're my friends, but like from when I got married, the only people who are there, my 10, 15, 20 friends who are there, are only people who I've known for 15 years. Do you know what I mean? They're proper, close, just close, and that's it. So I ain't really about surrounding myself with these fake people and on this hype train and stuff like that, man. I like real people, and we're all pushing forward.
Yeah. Do you find you get that now that you've built your brand more? You get like people trying to get into the hype?
Don't know, man. Do you know what, man? I don't really. I just keep my own people, really. I don't really like. I'm like I work with people, as in like, if there's things that can be done. I don't really know. Like, I just like. I'm in my own little bubble, really. I'm quite happy with my own little bubble. And, I had a meeting earlier, and like, he's a friend, and I think, so we can do business together. Do you know what I mean? So like, and that's how far like it go, and it'd be like a great working relationship, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? We're all together and things like that, and that's it, really. But I've got my loved ones, my friends, do you know what I mean? And that's it, really.
Yeah. I'm curious to know more about the business journey. So obviously you're doing the boxing academy. Was it in Luton you started that?
In Luton, yeah. Stockwood Park, the free boot camps in the summer.
And then how does someone go from that to then suddenly doing it in Dubai? Like, that's quite a jump of business.
Yeah, mad. How did that even go? How did that go ahead? So yeah, we just started chipping away at the academy, and then we just, like I said, now we're working with 300 kids a week, which is great. And the benefit, like, our coaches are class, man. Like, they're on it, man. Like, it's word of mouth. It's word of mouth. We've got a great team. And then I was looking around, to be fair, and I thought, well, where's the next? Like, let's make some money from it now. Like, do you know what I mean? Let's do it properly. So I was like, all right, Dubai. Let's jump into Dubai quick. So we're in Dubai, and now I'm thinking to myself, right, the next step's obviously going to be Saudi. So I give it a year or two, and I go into Saudi. That's what I want to do. But it's like, yeah, man. I don't know, if I see a gap, I think I'm mad at stuff, man. I was doing like Wonder Retreats. I thought to myself, I'm just going to put myself. Got my pal, Taylor, who works for us, does all the emails, admin, like proper good stuff, reaches out to all these hotels and stuff like that. And I was like, right, when I'm not boxing, I'm not in camp. Let's message these resorts, these hotels, tell them I'll come over, and I'll we were just milking it really. We were just saying, look, I train all these high net worth people in London. Let me come to your, let me come to, I don't know, say like Maldives or something like that. I'll come in, I'll train the guests, give them a bit of, experience. But that's like, mate, you build your network because the people who are staying there are proper, all right? So you're like networking, you're in the sun, good for you, you train, and you're doing a bit of boxing. People sound, mate. Do you know what I mean? So I'm always just, don't know.
You're always looking for opportunity.
Yeah, man. There's always opportunities.
that.
There's always something. There's always a way out. There's little loopholes. Boom, 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 boom. Do you know what I mean?
How do you balance that though with camp? Because camp and training is so regimented and strict. How do you then balance a business that's always ongoing with that?
So this year, I've really kind of like pushed things a little bit. I've got everything sorted now. So it's mainly boxing. Like, this is my opportunity now. And since I've done that, now all this big breakthrough. Do you know what I mean? So like, everything's kind of running in the background, and I've got people like my business partner Jay Butler. He's running the Dubai stuff. He checks in with the UK stuff, so it kind of runs itself, really. And I've got my own people sorting it. So hopefully soon we'll start seeing proper revenues, and you know what I mean. It starts happening, but it's there, man. We're just laying the foundations. Like nothing's ever easy. Like if it's easy, it don't work. It just don't work. Do you know what I mean? I've had it. Like people say, I've had people ring me and go, oh, there's opportunity, to put 10 grand in and you want to get 20 grand a week. Well, you just do it then.
Why are you ringing me?
Why don't you do it then?
Yeah.
But it's just too good to be true, man.
Yeah.
If things are too good to be true, it normally is. Do you know what I mean? You got to cry about it. You got to have setbacks. It's got to be hard. It's got to be sleepless nights. It's got to be very difficult to see any kind of benefit that's worthwhile.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think it's also accepting that that's okay to be in pain, which, I mean, sitting across someone, a boxer, you've been in way more pain physically than I can ever probably imagine. But you have to experience pain sometimes
suffer, man.
to get
suffer,
it.
Man. Like anything worthwhile, you have to suffer. Like I've never done anything what's been so easy, like really easy, and I've gone, wow, really beneficial. Oh, that's changed my life. You've had to go through a process of actually, whether it's mental torture or physical torture, a lot of hurdles or like a big maze to get there for it to be beneficial. Do you know what I mean? So if it was easy, every single person would do it. That's why 95% of people don't really do it, because it's too hard. It's hard, mate.
Yeah.
And they're happy, and there's nothing wrong with just living. They're happy just chilling. Ain't for me. Do you know what I mean? No, ain't for me. But yeah, man, I just love. I like making deals and just meeting people and growing. I like people growing. That's what it's about.
But the thing I always find is that not everyone needs to be like we are, entrepreneurial and driven, because we also need businesses of people like that to be able to make our visions.
Well, exactly. So can you imagine, we need people like, because they're doing the work. To be honest with you, otherwise society won't work.
Yeah, exactly.
To be honest with you, but it's going to be hard now because you got all this AI coming in now. So where do people go from now? Because if you're a receptionist now, that's easily replaced. Yeah, like it's happening.
Yeah.
So it's like the next few years is going to be mad. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for us. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man, I'll just try and say to people, if you can find a way, do what you got to do, man, because it's going to get harder, mate. And it's coming to a time where it's going to people. I think there'll be a big gap soon. You're going to be rich, or you're going to have nothing. I do believe that. Like I do. The way the system's going and the overpricing things, and you either want to be here or you want to be there. And that's it. I do believe that. Like it's happening. Like it's mad. It's mad.
And how do you find it? Because obviously you're impacting the kids of today in those areas, like you said, the areas that are probably the least likely to get up to that one. How are you helping them or understanding like what their futures are?
It all comes from the boxing fundamentals. So our main thing is to be able to get anywhere in life. Yeah, anywhere in life, you need discipline. You can be motivated to go to the gym, blah blah blah, but motivation lasts a week or 2 weeks, and then what? You're back doing what you want to do. So you need to be disciplined. Discipline keeps you going. Like me, I don't want to train. I don't want to do this, but I just do it anyway. It's a habit. I'm training tonight at 9:00 p.m. because I've missed my session. Do I want to do it? Not really. I'd rather go to a boxing show and then probably go out after. But I'm not gonna. I'll go to the gym and sweat it out. So that's just because of the habit and discipline. So with the academy and these kids, it's teaching these fundamentals, your respect, your morals, your discipline, pushing forward, resilience. That there will set them up in the future. Not school. Well, school is, you need a bit of school, but like, what does school teach you really? To what? Be an employee, to get a job and work for someone else. When you look at it, like, they don't teach you about money management. They don't teach you about taxes. They don't teach you how to like make deals or have your own mind. It's about, like, they don't even teach you about failing. Like, you need to fail in life to find out what works and what don't work. If you fail in school, you get told off. It's all right to fail. It's fine. It's fine. Like, because that's going to push you or put you to a different direction to get where you want to get to. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Man, next generation, man, it's important. Want them to be like, just good. Do you know what I mean? Happy and good.
That sounds incredible. And I'm curious, from your perspective, obviously they're training in boxing more for the discipline and the resilience, but is there actually any money in boxing should they carry on as a career?
100%. Like, everyone who comes, I always make it clear, like, just because you're in the boxing academy doesn't mean you want to be. You don't have to want to be a professional boxer. It's just giving them the fundamentals to go off and do whatever they want to do, because they can apply what they're learning in the academy about being individual, but then some stuff we do is team working. So you're going to apply that into your businesses that you want to do and whatnot. Some kids might want to go off and just do a normal job. That's fine, but it's just about building their confidence, their character. Me popping in and showing that I come from nothing. It's possible. I'm not the most talented. I stuck at something. I worked hard. You can do it too. Just graft, man. Put the work in. And that's all it is. Suck it up. I had a hard upbringing and my family life went all, roses. So come on, man. Let's just do it. We're in it together. Do you know what I mean? So that's the kind of lift and guidance and message we give to these kids, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got a job to do to keep pushing forward, like, to keep inspiring these kids to win this next title. Really, you need to win it. Bring them. Go to the academy, go to each school, show them the kids. Yes, come on. Do you know what I mean? Because there's some days I think to myself, I promise, I say I'll come in next week. And the day comes, I think I'm so busy. I'm so busy. I'm thinking, can I really make it? I'll go there anyway. I think to myself, I'm so glad I've gone. It's the best, man. Like, the kids, like, just like, it's class. It's what it's about, man. Like, lifting others. And this next generation coming up, they're going to lead the way, man. They're going to lead the way. So we've got to make sure we're in check. So that's why I'm quite passionate about helping others, and why the academy is good, man. Like, it's just everyone wants to work with us.
Yeah, but that's what I think is so incredible about what you're doing, Jordan, is you're inspiring them, right? And they're probably going to look back and be grateful that they were inspired by you. I'm curious, in your journey, who's inspired you as a boxer or otherwise?
Do you know what? The people inspired me, all right? The people I've just met through boxing or just in life who done better than me. Whoever I was meeting who's just, pushed forward in their business or in their life or done different things, they just inspired me to be better. Like, and I always think to myself, like, we all could really do better. All of us. We could all be better. Do you know what I mean? So we all could be better. So, yeah, like, I never really had like an idol, to be honest with you, who looked up to someone and said, I want to be like him. I never really had that. But I just, as I was going through the process of boxing and, meeting people, like, I was never really a hater. Never really hated anyone. As a kid, I did. I used to hate rich people for some reason. I used to think, like, they've got this, they've got that. Mummy and daddy helping them. So I used to be a bit like, it was all like that on the manner. But then you grow out of that. And then, but I've never been a hater. Like, I've always been like, that inspired me just by being around other people, meeting people who are doing better than me. I think, I love that. Ledge. I'll take that. I'll try and learn off you. So I'm a bit like a sponge, man. I just want to learn off people. And just, like I said, I love people winning, man.
Yeah.
It's ledge, isn't it? We all come from nothing, mate. We're all normal. Like, yeah, man.
Yeah. Do you still remember, like, where you came from when you're winning, though? Because I see a lot of people grow out of that and sort of forget their roots.
Yeah, every day. It's in me, man. So, I mean, it's in me. Like, I'll never, ever change, man. Like, we come from it. Like, we come from the mud, man. Like, honestly, you come to our state. Listen, mad people come from our state. Like, from Luton. You just Google Luton. I think we're like the second or third, maybe the first roughest place to live in now. Luton is. Do you know what I mean? And when it's a multicultural town as well, so it's like it gets you ready for real life, man. Like I loved it. Like we'll never change it. And yeah, of course, man. You gotta. I believe you can't get carried away in life. You can't. Ego's good. You need a bit of ego, yeah. But you gotta be grounded, man. Like, you gotta be humble. You have to have 2 feet on the ground. Do you know what I mean? For me, anyway. And I think I don't like people who are full of it anyway. So I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
So I just think stay grounded, stay humble. Don't really tell everyone what you're up to, because not everyone wants you to do well. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's important. I see a lot of people who make it and they kind of like pretend that they're not from where they're from, you know? It's like almost embarrassment. But I think one of the reasons why you are so inspiring is because you live and breathe where you're from, but you're also not stuck in that. You're not like, oh, pity me, I'm from this area.
Yeah,
You've gone there and you've achieved, and now you're helping people in that area.
Yeah, and lift. Like I think a lot of people could actually do better for their business as well if they're actually true to themselves and actually like tell your real story. Like it's fine. Like listen, a lot of us are all fucked up, and that's all right in different ways. That's all right, man. It's fine. Do you know what I mean? And it's just how you push forward from that and build from that. Do you know what I mean? What really matters. So yeah, man. Like, I never. Yeah, listen. Everyone's on their own path, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing though, Jordan, you have lifted other people up and you are now inspiring other people. And the one thing I really appreciate is you're very honest about it. Like this whole show is all about being raw and real.
Yeah.
When everyone messages me or says, can I come on the show? I'm always like, how honest are you going to be? Because I'm not coming for the mask. Like I wouldn't be the first time I've said, take the mask off to people, off camera. So one of the things I always ask every guest that we have on the show, Jordan, is, who do you know that has an inspiring story that you think we should have on the show next? That would be raw and real and sort of take the mask off.
I think who would be great for this podcast, to be honest with you, is a good friend of mine called Hardman. Ex-Marine, ex-UFC fighter. Well, he could have been UFC. Was at Storm Gym, business partners with the Tates. I think he's now number 1 osteopath in the country. He's unbelievable. Like I used to go to him. I used to book a session with him, just to talk. Just to talk. Like, I was like 18 years old, and I just like to talk. His mindset is just unbelievable. Genuine man. Faced so much setbacks, and just mate. He's great to have him. Do you know, one of my fights, right? He's proper, mate. One of my fights, I done a bad weight cut, all right, and I didn't sleep for 2 days, mate. I was done, yeah. I had a big fight, all right, and I've done it all completely wrong. 6 weeks notice, messing about. Just had to roll the dice a little bit just to get this eliminated, right. And I'm going a bit mad in my head. Do you know when you can't sleep? I'm thinking, man, I'm fighting in a few hours. So I'm at the venue, and Dale's there, and I'm trying to nap, man, and I'm like, I'm like, I ain't slept, man. I ain't slept. And he looked at me and went, what do you need to sleep for? Sleep for pussies. I went, yeah, man. I didn't sleep. And I went on and won the fight. Do you know what I mean? But it's just little things like that, mate. He's proper, he's just proper, mate. Do you know what I mean? He's just he keeps you in check. Like proper gentleman, and very, he's inspiring, man. He's from Luton. I don't want to say too much what he's doing now, but he's smashed it. Very proud of him. Like I said, Marine background, probably Afghanistan. He's done tours, MMA. I don't know if he's done better tour or something like that. So and he had injuries, so he knows the crack, man.
Wow.
And he does triathlons and marathons. He's probably a bit like David Goggins.
Wow.
But better, mate. He's proper. I'm telling you, yeah, man, mindset's real. Do you know what I mean?
Well, let's make that happen. Thank you so much, Jordan, for that shout out for Dale. And thank you for coming here on the show and being so honest, being raw and real. I've loved having a chat with you, and so excited to hear what you get up to with your academy.
It's coming, man. I'm looking forward to it all. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. Ladies and gents, that is everything that we have time for today. I hope you have enjoyed our conversation with Jordan as much as I have. And if you haven't already, make sure you do check out his Instagram and his socials for his boxing academy. So inspiring what he's doing with the kids of today. Now, don't forget, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the show so you don't miss out on our next inspiring guest, whether that's on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and leave a comment on our YouTube of what the biggest takeaway has been of this episode. I'll see you next week.